Hey, buenos dias, ¿qué onda? ¿Qué pasó, amigos? Welcome back to the channel, John's Moto Garage. Today I'm doing how to be a Dyna Bro 2.0. This is part 2. I did a video about a year ago, and we're doing an update. Now, for the record, Bikes and Birds, I believe, was the OG how to be a Dyna Bro. I'll put a link below to his video. He had a real nice, down and dirty, the basics. Today we're going to do a little bit more of an in-depth dive. This is, I'm going to call it a comprehensive guide. We're going to go over how to look the part, what type of bike, and how to set your bike up to actually ride the part. And then we're also going to go over what are the must-have tricks that you need in your pocket, in your repertoire, to really ride the part. And then stay tuned, last but certainly not least, we're going to do one bonus accessory that'll freaking knock it out of the park without any denial, will make you the ultimate Dyna Bro. So without further ado, let's jump into it. All right, let's start out with apparel. We're going to go head to toe. This is how to look the part to be a Dyna Bro. Number one, it doesn't really matter if you wear a helmet. Helmets are becoming more popular and cool. If you want to protect the dome, protect yourself against those TBIs, it's highly recommended that you wear them. You've got options: Simpson, Bell, Biltwell. Honestly, it doesn't really matter what brand. You could wear a Shoei, you could have a race style looking helmet, you could have just about any helmet. Typically though, half cuts are not going to cut it, and even 3/4 cuts these days don't really cut it for the Dyna Bro look. However, I will say, best of both worlds, you can do a modular. The modulars are coming in full force and are actually very popular among many of the Dyna Bros. But if you don't want to do the helmet, you can opt for just your basic snapback hat. I have seen that, and even just your basic crew cut. If you just want to go with the haircut, you can do that as well. To each their own, you know what I mean? To each their own. But you do have to have a snapback on your person at all times. If it's not on your head, it is going to be on your belt loop, belt buckle. I'm not really sure why. Maybe for when you get pulled over by the cops, you can just kind of throw that mane back and tame it under the hat there. But yeah, you definitely got to have it. All right, moving right along. Sunglasses are cool. You can wear sunglasses. Pretty much any kind of sunglasses will work. Let's talk about the torso, man. No shirt's cool. You can wear a shirt. It better be black or some other color. If it has skulls, the better. If it has some type of yeah, that's about it. Now, you don't necessarily need to have added protection, but if you want to, there is such thing as a leather jacket. But not just any leather jacket. You're not going to go get like a race jacket. You can get what's called a leather vest. And I'll have to say, I just recently picked one up from Rebel Reaper. Those vests are nice, man. They do deflect the wind, and it's a little extra added protection if you do happen to go down on one of those dank wheelies. Which we will go into the wheelies here soon enough. It is nice to have a vest. Let's talk gloves. There's lots of different options for glove. Motocross gloves, mountain biking gloves. You got lots of different styles and brands and colors. Pick one that fits you, that you like. You know, the thinner it is, the nicer for the type of riding that you'll be doing. Making our way down to the pantalones. You can do dickies, you can do jeans, you can do jean shorts, you can do dickie shorts. It really doesn't matter. You can wear just about anything you want for the pants. And then for shoes, you know, there's this, people say you gotta have Vans, but no, you don't have to have Vans, man. You can wear Vans, you can wear Nikes, Pumas, Adidas. I don't care what you wear. You can wear any kind of shoe you want, bro. There's no rules really to being a Dyna Bro, except for the rules we're going over how to be a Dyna Bro. All right, I think that about does it for the apparel. You know, nothing too wild, nothing too crazy. All right, let's talk the motorcycle. Obviously, you're going to need to get yourself a Dyna. I wish I could say any Dyna is going to work, but sadly, that's not the case. There are a few exceptions. The switchback, the wide glide. The wide glide has a wider front end, a bit of a rake. It's just not going to cut it. And then also the Dyna Fat Bob, while it has been done, bear trap stunts, makes it work. Traditionally, typically, the Fat Bob isn't going to be the way to go. I also wish I could tell you that just having a Dyna was going to be enough, but sadly that's not enough either. You are going to have to do some basic upgrades, and there are some more in-depth upgrades as well. But for the basics, taller suspension, 13 to 14 inch. If you have the Dyna Gap, that's cool. If not, whatever, you can still get by. If you got a piggyback, that's really cool as well. Whether or not you're ever actually going to ride anywhere near the capability of that. Suspension in the front is nice, is well upgraded for when you come slamming down hard on those wheelies because you don't know what you're doing. Trust me, been there, done that. The Saddlemen step up, why? Why though does everybody have this style seat? Well, the reason being is in order to hit true balance point on a Dyna, you're straight up and down. They call it 12 o'clock. They call it nooners. They call it a dank wheelie. And in order to be there and stay on the seat, it's nice to have this nice little pad there. So the Saddlemen does it. It keeps you tucked in nice and safe on the saddle. 2-in-1 exhaust. I don't know why it has to be 2-in-1, but apparently it does. That's the rule. It's good to have some crash protection, not if, but when you go down, whether it be on the wheelies or trying the drifts and all that good stuff, this will protect your investment, protect your assets. Additionally, some rear crash protection is always good to have. I go with Cruise Originals, lots of options out there. Let's make our way around back to the Fender. You can do a stock Fender and hit 12 o'clock. And don't get me wrong, it's super cool. The first time I did it, I was thrilled. However, you're not going to be seeing those fireworks sparks. So get a Scrape City skid titanium plate, or any titanium plate for that matter that works. I choose Scrape City. And then this is a Cruise Original subframe. This way I can work my way down to the ultra deep status when it comes to scraping and hitting 12 o'clock. Tires, you can do just about anything, but a Shinko 777 is going to be top notch. I'm running a Michelin. The Shinko sticks, man, super sticky if you want to get that wheel up in the air, and trust me, it's difficult. Let's make our way around over to this side of the bike. Chain conversion, not a must-have, but that's like the cherry on top. You can run it with a belt though, that'll work too. Mid controls, you can't do the forward controls unless you're a bagger bro. Forward controls just aren't going to hack it, man. You got to have the mids. It's a lot better. It makes you feel like you're on that dirt bike, and yeah, can be better off with mids. Get something that's grippy, that's going to keep your feet where they need to be. Let's talk handlebars. There's this misconception that Dyna Bros came from the TV show Sons of Anarchy. Couldn't be further from the truth, man. Dyna Bros came from dudes ripping it up on the Dynas, and last I checked, nobody in Sons of Anarchy was ripping it up on those bikes. They're just fun.
I still don't have my own bike, but I really have gotten more and more confident. Don't ever sit on another man's bike. I'd like to come show a little flavor out there on the bike and pop a couple wheelies when appropriate and stuff like that, as opposed to having a double do it for me.
On those bikes, they're just putting along like your freaking granny would be riding a motorcycle. Shoot, my granny probably rides better than half the dudes on Sons of Anarchy. Anyway, I digress. Basically, when you're looking at the taller bars, you can do a T-bar, but basically you want something that's going to fit you a little bit better. If you're going to be doing the stunts, you want something that's kind of a mid-rise, and if you have a pullback that brings it back closer to you, even better. I go with a 5.5 inch with a slight pullback, good to go. But a little bit taller bars, traditionally, typically, that's going to be the way to go. Front fairing, I don't have a fairing right now, but there are lots of different options for the front fairing: quarter fairing, taller fairing, pick a fairing. But this is a Dyna, keep in mind. It's not a street glide, it's not a road glide, it's a Dyna. You can do an FXR fairing though, that would be rad as well. And I will note, the ultimate Dyna Bro is actually not a Dyna Bro, they're an FXR Bro. They're the ones who started it all. Wheels, you want to have mags over spokes. They're going to hold up a little bit better. It's not a must-have. And then rotors, you don't have to have upgraded rotors. A few things you may not think about. If you're running carb, you got to do some adjustments to the carb so that it can handle the 12 o'clockers. I haven't figured that out yet. Secondly, oil change mod, man. If you're going to be rocking the wheelies on this thing, you can't be starving that engine. You got to do an oil pan mod, and that'll allow you to keep this thing rolling as long as your heart desires. I think those are the big ones we touched on, and yeah. So you look the part, you got the bike. Now, how do you ride the part, man? Let me see if I can demonstrate. First and foremost, you got to start with the basics, and that's going to be the wheelie. One thing I didn't mention is you do want a rev limiter. That way you can really bounce it off the rev limiter, hear that when you're riding. All right, the wheelie is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to doing actual riding like a Dyna Bro. But the problem is, you don't stop there, man. Not only do you have to learn to wheelie, but you got to learn a legit wheelie, hit balance point, and slow it down. I'm still struggling with that part. Then you got to learn how to scrape the rear fender. Then you got to cut your rear fender, reinforce it, put some titanium plates on there, scrape, and actually get sparks. We're just barely getting to that point here in my journey. But it doesn't end there, man. After that, you gotta learn combos, dude. You gotta learn knee knockers, you gotta learn stand-up wheelies, and then on top of that, you gotta learn to take your hand off. And not just take your hand off, but you gotta scrape, touch the ground while you're mid-riding. If you're really good, for those who actually know what they're doing, you can take both hands off, and very few people, but I have seen it done in real life, can touch both hands on the ground while in a wheelie. That's pretty gnarly. Let's just say there's endless opportunities and possibilities with the wheelie game. It doesn't just start with popping it onto the one wheel, but that's where us newbies are going to start. It comes down to a lot of seat time, a lot of practice for that. If you thought being a Dyna Bro was wake up and you're Dyna Bro, sorry man, rude awakening for you. Now once you figured out the wheelie game, then you also got to figure out the drift game, donut game, basically burn and rubber game. You got your stand-up drifters, your rolling burnouts, you got your drifts with your feet down, going right, going left, drifts with your feet up, going left and right. You get the idea. Tons of cool ways to drift, tons of variations, but you got to figure it out, man. You can't get by with just doing a little skid here and there, man. If you really want to do it, you got to do it the right way. And once again, lots of seat time, lots of practice. I can do the wannabe beginner status, drift that bike, and I can only get it like 1 out of 20 attempts. So like I said, I'm a wannabe here, no doubt about that. All right, I think that about does it as far as the tricks for your repertoire and all that good stuff. Now I said there's number four, bonus accessory that'll ultimately make you the biggest Dyna Bro. Let me try a wheelie here real quick and then I'll tell you what that is. This is what I'm talking about. Nice and easy. Slow it down. Slow it down. Watch where you're going. Good, good, good. The number one accessory that's the cherry on top to ultimately become a Dyna Bro is you actually have your Dyna, you look the part, you got the bike, but then you set your Dyna aside and you go out there and you get yourself a pit bike. That's right, dude. In order to be the ultimate Dyna Bro, you gotta actually, you have to have a pit bike. I'm talking CRF 110, KLX 110. Those are the two big ones. Get yourself a pit bike. Learn to do all the crazy stuff on those bikes, and that way when you show up to the bike meets, whether it be on the freaking pit bike or this bike, you're the gnarliest dude there and you're killing it. Yeah, there you have it. How to be a Dyna Bro. As easy as 1, 2, 3. Hey, truth be told, there's no such thing as a Dyna Bro, dude. All it is a dude who has fun riding a motorcycle, and you don't need anything special to do that. All you need are 2 wheels and jump on a ride, have fun. So disregard everything I said. Get whatever bike you want, ride however you want, dress however you want. Just have fun out there, you guys. John's Motor Garage. Like and subscribe if you dig it. We'll catch you next time. Adios, hasta luego, nos vemos.